Hi, this is Gladys John Patalinghug and I am using a text-to-speech voice for this presentation. CMO number 22-2010 or the Revised Customs Port Operation Manual. In this presentation, I will discuss the glossary of terms and annexes of CM 22-2010. I hope you will all learn something from this presentation. First is the glossary of terms. Ballast. A heavy cargo which is loaded on board vessels or aircraft merely for the purpose of making it steady. One example of ballast is a huge stone or rock. It is used to maintain the proper balance of a vessel in order to prevent it from drowning. Berth. The part of pier or wharf that is occupied by the vessel, or any place in which a vessel may lie at anchor or the dock. If we compare it to cars, it basically means like a parking lot to the vessels. Bill of lading. It's a transport document for ocean freight issued by shipping lines, carriers and international freight forwarders or non-vessel operating common carrier. It is like a receipt of all the detailed list of shipment goods given by the carrier to the person consigning the goods. Bond. An instrument designed chiefly to guarantee the integrity and honesty to the both parties. It is an agreement that is signed and approved by both companies for safer and guaranteed negotiations in shipping or logistics matters. Break bulk. Non-containerized cargo which is grouped or consolidated for shipment and broken down or subdivided into unitized cargo, such as pallets, or packed in bags or boxes. In other words, these are goods shipped in individually counted units. These are also called general cargo. Bulk. Are liquids or dry goods shipped in bulk, not packed or bundled in separate units. These are usually heavy items that are needed to be grabbed or forked during its unloading or loading. One example of bulk cargo are okai. Cargo manifest. It is the declaration of the entire cargo. This means that it is a list of all products or goods inside the cargo that is on board or in a vessel. Carrier. The person who is actually transporting the goods or in charge or responsible for the transportation operations of it. The carrier could be a customs broker or a logistics company. Customs clearance. The accomplishments of customs formality to allow goods to enter inside a customs territory or office. It is like an entrance ticket if we relate it on our reality today. Coastwise ports. Are such domestic ports that are open to coastwise trade only. These include all ports and harbors and places that are not ports of entry. Container freight station. It is normally a warehouse or a transit shed that is adjacent to the container yard and are used for stuffing or storage of container cargo that are subject to importation or exportation. Containerized cargo. A cargo stuffed inside a container van with the external dimensions and ratings enumerated in Series 1 of ISO 668-1976. If it's inside the container van, then it is called containerized cargo. Devanning. It is the transfer of cargo from one container to another container. Discharge Port Survey or DPS. A report issued by an accredited cargo surveying company or ACSC for bulk or break bulk cargo after conducting a survey at the port of discharge. Dry dock. It's a dock where the water can be temporarily excluded for the purpose of hulls and keels repairing on ships or vessels. And cargo. Are the entrusted shipment of merchandise or articles from abroad. Foreign trade. It is the commercial interchange of commodities between different countries with duties and taxes involved. Importation and exportation are all foreign trade in general. Hatch. It is part of a ship whereas it is an opening on a ship's deck where cargo can be lowered. Less container load. A container loaded with cargoes belonging to more than one consignee and or covered by more than one bill of lading. This means that it's a container with plenty of cargoes but the owner of each cargo are different person. Load Port Survey. A report issued by an accredited cargo surveying company or ACSC for bulk or break bulk cargo to be imported in the Philippines. Its difference with the DPS is that the DPS is for discharging while LPs is for importing. Moor. It is to secure a vessel alongside the berth by means of mooring ropes. Non-vessel operating common carrier or NVOCC is a person including international freight forwarder. Basically means a common carrier that holds itself out to the public to provide ocean transportation issues. NVOCC can be a carrier. Port of entry are those domestic port open to both foreign and coastwise trade. Philippines has 17 port of entry from District 1 to District 16. Pratik. A permission granted by quarantine officials to a vessel or aircraft to hold intercourse with the port after the ship or aircraft has complied with port regulations. It has something to do with the Department of Health. Quay. A landing place of pier. These are usually of construction, where vessels berth to load or unload cargo.
Regular shipside permit. It is a requirement for all cargo, which belong to the categories of regular shipside cargoes under the existing regulations.
Saloon store. Supplies listed as such which are intended for sale on board a vessel or aircraft. To simplify it, it is a list of supplies for sale on a vessel or aircraft. Sea store. Articles specially foodstuff that are for use or consumption only of the passengers and crew on board the vessel or aircraft. Some examples are food, wine and cigarettes. Shifting of cargoes. Transferring of cargoes from vessel to vessel, dock to dock, hatch to hatch, and bay to bay. From the word shift, this means transfer basically, so that is what shifting of cargoes mean. Ship's stores is a room on a vessel that consists of spare equipments necessary for the safe navigation of the ship, such as chains, anchor and the likes. Special shipside permit. This is a permit for cargoes that do not belong to the category of regular shipside cargo, then the consignee or broker has to get this permit from the customs collector prior to the processing and approval by the entry processing division. Stripping. This is not the stripping that's on your mind. Stripping actually means the unloading of all goods or cargoes from a container. Stuffing. From the word stuff, it is the filling of container with goods or cargoes. Temporary shipside permit. This is a written authority to discharge cargoes at shipside until later as per order of the collector of customs. Transit. It's a customs procedure where goods are transported under customs control from one customs office to another customs office. Transit cargo. An article arriving at any port or place noted in the carrier's manifest and that is destined for transit or transshipment to another local or foreign port. Transshipment. It is a customs procedure under which goods are transferred under customs control from importing to exporting means of transport that is within the area of one customs office, which is both for importation and exportation office. Vessels. These are artificial contrivance used or capable of being used as means of transportation in water. Some common examples of it are boat and ship. Now that we are done with the glossary of terms in CMO 22-2010, now let's go to the annexes of it. BOCOPM Form Number 1. The General Permit. This is where the general informations needed for discharging import cargo and loading the export cargo is stated. You need to have this permit as a permission for loading or unloading a cargo. BOCOPM Form Number 2. Clearance of vessel to a foreign port. This form is for the vessels that is making a clearance to a foreign port. BOCOPM Form Number 3. Clearance of customs inspector assigned on board. It consists of a written duties that a custom inspector should follow in his working hours. This is what BOCOPM Form Number 3 looks like. BOCOPM Form Number 4. Inspector's certificate of last cargo discharge, either container or bulk cargo. This is an example of BOCOPM form number 4. BOCOPM form number 5. Container discharging report. This is an example of BOCOPM form number 5. It should be signed by Customs Guard, Customs Inspector and the Master of Vessel or Chief Officer. BOCOPM form number 6. Pure Shipside Discharging Report. This is an example of BOCOPM form number 6. It should be signed by the consignor's representative, 2 Customs Guard, 1 Customs Inspector and the Master of Vessel or Chief Officer. BOCOPM form number 7. Assignment Order. This is an example of BOCOPM form number 7. It consists of written assignment order from the Bureau for Customs Inspector and Customs Guard. BOCOPM form number 8. Checklist. This is an example of BOCOPM form number 8. It consists of the checklist of all required shipping documents that should be checked from Piers and Inspection Division. BOCOPM form number 9. Oath of entering vessel from a foreign port. This is an example of BOCOPM form number 9. It is the written oath statement by the Master of Vessel as a confirmation that all the shipping documents they have are true, legal and not tempered. BOCOPM form number 10. Oath of Master to manifest in clearance for a foreign port. This is an example of BOCOPM form number 10. It is the written statement of oath by the master vessel as a confirmation of telling the truth about the successful unloading of cargo to the assigned collector of the district. BOCOPM form number 11. Oath of Master to foreign vessel clearance without passenger. This is an example of BOCOPM form number 11. It is the written oath statement by the master of vessel as a confirmation that there are no unauthorized passengers on board the vessel. BOCOPM form number 12. Outward Foreign Manifest. This is an example of BOCOPM form number 12. It consists of all the details or manifest on all the cargo on board and is signed by the master of vessel as a confirmation that the listed informations are true. BOCOPM form number 13. Customs Inspector After Operation Report. This is an example of BOCOPM form number 13. It is basically the overall details and result of the customs inspector's operation in checking all the vessel's shipping documents and manifests. BOCOPM form number 14. Inward Foreign Manifest. This is an example of BOCOPM form number 14. It is the details or manifests on all cargo that is on board the vessel together with vessel's details and signed by the master vessel. BOCOPM form number 15. Record of vessel boarded. This is an example of BOCOPM form number 15. It consists of all the records of vessels boarded that is signed by Customs Senior Boarding Officer. BOCOPM form number 16. Shipside Permit. This is an example of BOCOPM form number 16. It is for strict compliance in Bureau of Customs. It's a memorandum that includes the registry number of a vessel and is signed by Deputy Collector of Operation. Now that we're done with all the glossary of terms and annexes in CMO 22-2010, I hope that you enjoyed my presentation and learned something. Once again, this is Gladys John S. Patalinghug, your future license